Welcome back to Flight Sim with Rude Man, and we are in Minneapolis, St. Paul area at the airport. This is where we landed the other night. That was 2 days ago. I was going to come in and do a flight last night. By the time I got around to it, it was late. I was tired. I looked and I thought, I don't know if I'll be able to do 2-3 hours, and so I kind of decided to wait, and I went to bed. And so today's another day. The thing that I had last night, and one of the reasons why I decided not to do it, when I got in here, before I could get into the airplane, my windshield was completely iced over. I couldn't see out of it. I couldn't find any heat or anything to take care of that. A lot of stuff in these planes don't work. And so it was snowing sideways. And the cloud, I couldn't see across the airport here at all. The clouds were cleared down almost like 5 feet off the ground. When I decided to try to get up over it to see what it looked like, it was solid storm clouds all the way to Chicago, literally. Because what I decided to do is I don't want to chance this if it's going to be this bad, and I'm tired and all that kind of stuff. So I went ahead and put myself in an airport close to Chicago, and it was so stormy and rainy. I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me, sitting in the airport. And so I said, weather's too bad. I'm not going to try this. And I went to bed. Now, we're going to get into this now. Let's get started and get in here and get our plane started up here. Okay, first off, I'm just going to kick all the lights on because we're going to be taking off as soon as I get this thing started. And we'll go through the routine again. First of all, we need to turn the fuel on. And while we're doing that, let's go to weights and balances and make sure we got a full tank. Okay. All right, let's come down here. We're going to turn on the alt power, standby power. We're going to turn on the avionics. We'll turn on the battery. We're going to give it a little bit of extra fuel to get it started. Just a little bit of a boost. And I think I'll leave that. Let's see. Ignition on. We're going to hit the start. All right, let's go back down and put that down. Stand by. Let's see. We need to put this. I think I turned that off. Turn the boost fuel off. We leave the battery on. Yeah, I think I'm okay. So, and I've got the lights on. We're ready to go, I think, except for we do need to set our course. Destination, we're going to do a direct flight to KORD. Turn our keyboard on up here. KORD. That should be Chicago, Illinois, O'Hare. That's it. We're going to enter that and activate it. Then we're going to set our altitude to, I think I'm going to start at 6,000. That's a good starting point, I think, for a plane this size in clear skies and flat ground. There's no real mountains around that I know of. So 6,000. Put our flight director on, and we'll do the rest of it when we get up in the air. Make sure that we are on, let's go to here and make sure we're on GPS. There we go. We're on GPS. All right, and then we need to find out which way the wind's blowing. I think it's blowing from the right, so we want to take off on the left. And if I remember let's see, is it 12? There's a strip right behind us. 12 right. Okay, so 12 right. That's what we're going to do. And I think we're ready to go. So let me set up in the seat a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And I think I'm okay. Yeah, I can get by this guy. I don't need a Edelweiss. I don't need a pushback, so... Let's flip a Yui here. Oh, don't hit that guy. See, just wandering out here. Looks like a nice day. It's cold, but it looks like a nice day. All right, so we're looking for 12 right, I think. So let's head over this way. All right, I found a windsock, and the wind is blowing the other way. So I'm at the other end. If you look at my map up here, I'm gonna be taking off the opposite direction I need to go. But that's the way the wind is. I'm traveling with the wind right currently. And when you take off and land, you want to try to, if you can, take off against the wind. So I found a windsock that was blowing in this direction, and so I'm gonna take off in that direction. All right, and I'm not all the way to the end of this airstrip, as you can tell, but my God, if I need this much air runway to take off, I'm in trouble. So I'm gonna put a couple flaps down, and we're gonna just try to get off the ground here. Now the wind was blowing at an angle. Oh, see, it took right off. And that's how much easier it is when you're flying into the wind. And not away from it. So, okay, we're up. I'm gonna put the flaps up. And then we're gonna come around because we're kind of flying in the wrong direction here. So let me cut back on the throttle just a little bit. It looks like there's a little turbulence up here. I wouldn't be surprised. That windsock was pretty full and it was standing straight out. So the wind is not just a little bit. It's a pretty good gust. And I was talking about that Bonanza. I tried to fly it, and there was not as much wind as there's blowing right now. And man, it knocked me out of the sky. It was something else. It's a smaller plane. It's one of the wings that are down below you that you have to kind of step up onto the wing to get in the cockpit. It's a very small cockpit. It only holds 4 people in the passenger side. All right, let's see if we can kick in the autopilot here and then see if we can get it to take over. All right, let's pull up the nose a little. What's our... trying to find my... Okay, there's my throttle. All right. A little bit of a downdraft, I think, so I'm having a hard time climbing. Let's put a little bit of vertical up here. And see if we can climb a little bit. There we are, St. Paul. There's our airport behind us. As you can see, there's a little bit more snow here than there was when I landed. It was really nasty. I mean, really nasty. And it was that way the whole way to Chicago. It wouldn't have been a fun flight, I'll tell you, because there wouldn't have been nothing to see. Here we are, and we're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun flight, I think. So we're climbing up to 6,000. We'll be fine. And at this point, looks like we're going into a cloud bank, but I'll determine whether I can fly under it or if I have to go over it. Because I would like to see some country. Winter's Landing. We got Gray Cloud Island. That's kind of scary. Is it so cloudy that they name a place Gray Cloud? South St. Paul, another airport. And that's not a bad sized airport. Sky Meadow reminds me of an airport. Sounds like an airport with a grass landing strip. All right, those are pretty thick clouds. I may have to fly over them. We're at our 6,000 feet. Check my barometer. It didn't change. 90-ger. All right, so let's bring her down and see if I can fly under the clouds safely. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. I'm going to go down to about 4,000 feet. And see what's that like for what that's like for us. Sandy Flats. Look at those buildings down there. Look like puzzle pieces. Look at them. They do. Well, they did until they started putting the detail in. Hastings. And to be honest with you, I didn't check to see how many miles it was. All right, I'm speeding, so let me pull the throttle back a little bit. It's because I'm dropping. All right, I've got another 900 feet. I don't know if this is going to be safe. I might as well. I'm on the way down. I might as well wait till I'm there and take a look. Yeah, that's probably not going to be a good thing. We're at 4,300 now. This isn't bad. Maybe I can do this. But I don't know if you noticed, but there's ice on the windshield already, which isn't a good thing. And I swear I couldn't find anywhere to turn any heat on. Whoa, that hit hard. That was a gust. Yeah, I've checked this plane over and I can't find any heat. There's nothing I can turn on that I can tell. These are avionics and you can't. There's an air conditioning. Bleed air heat, but I don't know what that is. And it doesn't look like you can change it anyway. Yeah, it looks like it's pointing to it, but I can't click on it. Mixing air, cabin heat. Push and pull. But see, I can't do it. It's not functional. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh man, it cleared right up. It was just a little cloud bank. We're fine. We're fine. But there's turbulence up here. So I hope the ice doesn't pick up. Let me see if there's ice on the wings. I don't really see anything on the windshield now, and there's nothing on the propeller, and I don't see any ice on the wings per se. All right, everything's looking okay. There's Welch. It's grape juice. Okay, so that's looking good. What I had something on my beady little mind a minute ago. Oh, right. Let's look here and see if we've got anything for the fluid control, wing light, stall heat. See, that doesn't work. PS heat. Okay, that might be, or is that just a warning? That might just be a warning. I thought maybe there would be something for the PTOTs, but I don't see anything. The vent doesn't work. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that would let me control that. Not seeing it. All right, we'll let it go for a minute. See how clouds do for us. So far, it looks actually kind of pretty. All right, I took the opportunity to go and kick a window open. It's getting hot in here. It's not warm outside, but it's hot in here. I'm going to give it a minute to see what this cloud bank is going to be in front of us. If everything looks copacetic, I'm going to go and start me a cup of tea. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to check to see what kind of mileage we're looking, what kind of miles on this flight. Let's see if I can figure that out. Okay, so KMSP to KORD. Okay, so yeah, we're looking a little bit longer than I thought I was gonna go, but it's still within shot. I was trying for about 250 miles. Chicago is 290 miles, so it still should be okay, but it's not going to be 2 hours. It might be 2.5 or 3, but at least it's not 4 hours like it was the other night. And there's no reason for me to be this low, so let me climb a little bit. Let me get, oh, there is a little frost. There's some little ice up there. Doggone it. All right, let's kick it up a little. I'll try 55, see how that does. Just a gentle climb. See how that does. Yeah, I don't know what I can do if the window freezes over and there's no heat in this plane. And that's I think most of the in-game planes are that way. You don't really have a lot of control over things. There's a lot of buttons and switches that you can't control, and that's why a lot of people are flying other aircraft that are being modded, and that's why I was looking at that Bonanza, because it's a modded plane, and I was able to pull the switches on the heat and stuff. But I didn't have a chance to fly it because it kept knocking me out of the sky. Frontenac? It's Frontenac. So let's see how long it takes to make 290 miles. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time on the ground, so...
Stall.
What? Stall? Am I freezing up? Oh, man. Let me kick my engines up. How did my engines get so low? Wow. I don't remember pulling the throttle back like that. I was down to 80 miles an hour. No wonder it was going to stall. That's kind of scary. I don't remember doing that. I remember saying I was going to kick the throttle back a little bit, but it was because the RPMs were too high and I was getting a red light on that. But now I'm having trouble. I wonder if it's the ice and stuff, but you can see it in the windshield. And I am getting beat around a little bit. There's a little air up here. Oh, geez. Yeah, you can see it. All right, let's kick this thing up above the clouds. It may be because I'm in the clouds. There's no sun and there's moisture in the clouds. Let me kick it up. A few thousand feet. Let's see. what happens here if I can get above the clouds and into the sunshine. And technically, if you ask me, it would be the higher you get, the colder it is. But I don't know how the hell it works. But you can tell I'm having trouble because it's not climbing very fast. I am getting above the clouds, though. Well, let's see, communications. Yeah, there's nothing on the panel that's going to give me any relief on the heat and stuff. And the only thing on the co-pilot side is just a duplicate of what I'm doing, duplicate of what I see here. 7,000 feet, we're still coming up above the clouds. Can't see anything outside. Cup of tea may be good for me, but it's not going to do the plane any good. Pour a hot cup of coffee out there. And I don't have any maps up today. Well, that's encouraging. At least I can see the ground. But look, there's quite the cloud cover. Airwolf. I remember that TV show. I wonder if somebody named it because of that. Because it looks like an airstrip. Okay. Minnesota. Well, we're not going to be in Minnesota very long. So let me pull up. Minnesota, Illinois. Pull up an Illinois map. Pretty clouds, but nasty looking. Okay, so that map didn't do us any good. Try this again here. Okay, so we're going to be flying northern Illinois. Where are we coming from? Dubuque? I don't know where the hell we're at. Hard when you can't see anything. No, we're actually in the difference between the flight that we're making tonight is that we are actually going at about a 45-degree angle north to south. So from the airport in Minnesota to the airport in Chicago, we're traveling at 45 degrees. So we're going south a little bit more heavy than in the last couple of flights. There's Buffalo City. Let's see if I can find that on the map. All right, we're flying over a river. That white area right there is a river. Whether it's really frozen over like that, I don't know. Because if you remember the other day, we were flying over the Columbia and it looked like it was frozen over. I know for a fact it isn't, because it never does. For one thing, it flows too fast. And for another, we don't get that cold in that area. It may get freezing at night, but in the daytime it heats up to 40, 50 degrees at a minimum. It doesn't get that cold to freeze the Columbia. And it looks like we're holding our own at 10,000 feet. I'm going to check the barometer. And it didn't change. Well, it looks like this is what we're going to have. So I'm going to run and heat up some water. I'll be right back. farm strip. Well, this is better. I wonder if I can maybe come down now a little bit. Let me drop it down a little so we can see something. I'd like to see something. La Crosse Regional, I saw that on the map. We're still over the river, as you can tell, and it's not frozen over. So the river's moving. We came across the river and then back over and crossed it again because it kind of serpentines just a little bit. But let's see what we can see out here as we're coming down. A little place called Dakota. Looks like it's in the middle of the river, doesn't it? Pretty river. Little islands and stuff. That's kind of cool, I guess. Rice Prairie. Parkway Farm, we saw that. A little bit of it. There's an airstrip in front of us. Nice sized little airstrip. It's kind of a strange looking river, isn't it? It's like it's kind of scattered. I wonder how deep it is with all these little land masses poking up through it. I mean, it looks like it's kind of, I don't know, this looks weird. That much water across here, and it just barely looks like it's trickling through. That's kind of strange. They must be pretty confident that it's not going to run over if they've got an airport built on it, on that little island. They're pretty confident, I suppose, that the river's going to flow around it. And what are those things? Those look man-made. I wonder if those things are to kind of make the water. All right, I'm speeding, I think. And that's why my throttle was down earlier, because I did this before and I dropped the throttle. And then I went and climbed back up without putting the throttle back up. But you can see right here, there we go. I'm in that's the stall range, I think. A tink. So we'll just kind of manage the speed a little bit. We're at cruising speed again, so I can kick it back up. With this plane, I just want to make sure that the RPMs don't go over, because I don't want to hurt the engine. This is, and you notice that the frost has gone off the windshield. That's a good thing. A lot of green country down there. Dark green, light green, green. I was watching a video the other day. Boy, that's a good sized little city over there. What is that? La Crosse, it says. Anyway, they were comparing this game with X-Plane. I used to fly X-Plane as well as Microsoft, and I didn't pay too much attention to it. But the comparison I saw the other day was with the Microsoft and their outside terrain graphics compared to X-Plane, and there's no comparison. Microsoft does a much better job at the scenery. Wow, that's kind of cool looking. Isn't it cool looking? And it follows this path across the hills, it looks like. That's kind of neat. Oh, there's a little suburb area. People that want to live out in the country but don't have a lot of land or anything. I think those are just houses. It's a housing development. St. Joseph looks like a nice little suburb. There's some thick trees down there. It looks like a golf course with big sand traps. Big sand traps. Yeah, St. Joseph's looks like a nice little community. Little farming community. Because all these are farms, I would guess. Washington. How many places do you think are named Washington in this country? Coon Valley. We'll go hunting for raccoons. Carol's folks were from the South, and they would hunt squirrels and stuff and can the meat. I don't know if they ever did raccoon meat, but I don't think so. I remember squirrel that they would do. They would eat possum once in a while, but that's pretty much roadkill. Trying to keep the speed up because I want to shorten the trip, but I don't want to hurt the engines or anything like that. I couldn't pronounce that. Veracue. It's kind of funny because I know this is farmland, but it looks so manicured, doesn't it? I'm trying to think if there's any... I think there are a couple of real farm YouTubers, real farm families that I watch, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of them is in Illinois. I think another one that I watch is in Indiana, and I get them mixed up. Illinois and Indiana. I always think of Illinois as being city because Chicago's there, but Westby. Look at all the trees in Westby. This is really kind of strange. Now, I've been so surprised on this trip. There were places in Washington that I hadn't seen, and it surprised me. And I'm talking about those circular fields in Washington that we flew over for miles and miles. Nothing but circular fields, and because of the sprinkler systems, that go around in a circle. And then now look at these. These fields look manicured. No way can you say that they're square. They're not even round. They're just puzzle shaped. completely. It just looks strange. Look at that area right there. Webster. Wonder if there's a dictionary. Let me go inside and I want to look at the windshield. Nope, windscreen is fine. Doing fine. I'm going to try to look at a map, see where we're at if I can tell. Lafarge, what's that over there? That's not a town. Lafarge. Where the heck are we here? I think we're in Wisconsin. Let me try that. Because we haven't gotten down to Illinois yet, I don't think. Pretty country. Isn't it nice not to have the clouds we can see? Is that Charlie's? have no idea where we're at. No clue. Marshall. I think we're in Wisconsin. Richland. I don't think we're in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a little more north. Lake Superior's in Wisconsin, isn't it? The tip of it. Tri-County Regional, that's an airport. Bear Creek. That sounds dangerous. I wonder if it's cocaine bear. And that white, is that snow? All right, I found something That Viracue that I couldn't pronounce, I found it on the map. That is in Wisconsin. So if you remember a while back, I said there's something like Viracue or Viracue. I found it on the map, and it is in Wisconsin. So that means we are coming down towards Illinois. There's a river. Let me see if I can find that river right in front of us. Spring Green. See, the problem is a lot of these towns are too small to really see on a map till you get real detailed on the map. Okay, I found Richland Center. We just flew across that. There's Forsyth. That's a airstrip though. Okay, I think I know the direction we're flying on the map. I think. So we should be getting like, was there a Lone Rock? Madison, that's a county, I think. Madison County. As you can tell, most of these towns are little farming towns. I haven't seen any major highways. Well, there might be one across the river there. Arena Town. All right, I see Arena. I know exactly where we're at now. We're coming into Madison County. That Highway 14 runs through Arena. There should be a highway. Maybe that's it right there. Or it could be this one right here. What's that little town? That's Arena. That's Arena Town. So that's Highway 14, that major road right there. So I know where we're at. And we are in Wisconsin. Halleck Farm. So in the direction that we are flying, we should next see maybe Stockton. Still a few miles away, Stockton. There's some turquoise green color down there amongst those trees. I wonder if that's a certain kind of tree that makes that color scheme. All right. on a different map now that shows a little bit of Illinois, and to see if I can figure out where we're at on that, how close we are to Illinois. I don't think we're too far off. Docker Field. Oh, Dockin Field. Okay, well, we'll just enjoy the country. A lot of trees down there. If you just look at all the green, most of it's trees down there. Not a place where a lot of people are living. I mean, you don't see a lot of houses in the middle of those trees. Heckler Strip. Say it ain't so. Much better weather than there was last night. Mount Horeb. Pretty good sized little city. Springdale. Isn't there a Springdale in Homer Simpson? The Simpsons? Sugar Ridge. Odos. Cardinal Ridge. Verona. I'm looking for anything I can find on a map. Uh-oh. Had to pull back speed. That was, RPMs were in the red. Storytown Airfield. Okay, I see Odos. Oh, maybe it was, what the heck, Springlefield? Maybe it was Springfield I was thinking of in Simpsons. What was it I was talking about back there? Montrose. Montrose sounds familiar. Sivrid. Oregon town. Oh, that's funny. There's an airport up ahead called Buzzy Field. Are you buzzing the field? Brooklyn, I thought that was in New York. Lots of farmland down there. We got a little bit of breeze blowing out there. I'm looking out the window and things are getting shook up out there. Out my studio window. I'm sure glad to be out of those clouds so I can see something. There's Albany. Airstrip, airfield, Union, that's a town. There's Buzzy Field I was talking about, right in front of us. Buzzy Field. We're not that far away from Lake Michigan. That's just to the east of us. Now we're coming at a 45-degree angle, so this would be south that way, and so east would be kind of that way. North kind of that way. Kind of, sort of. I'm lucky to be able to know the difference between north and south, though. I don't do directions very well. Buzzy Field. I wanna land on Buzzy Field, or at least buzz it. Yeah, I just noticed, yesterday we had nice sunny weather out here where I live. Today, it's gray. I mean, it's really gray. I see no blue sky anywhere. It's gray skies all the way down to the ground. I'm trying to think which leg this is. I think this is leg number 4. I think. I have to laugh because I remember when I took off from Oregon, I thought I would be in Chicago in 2 legs. I was wrong. It takes too long. I had to shorten up the legs quite a bit. I think about 250 is about right. Southern Wisconsin Regional. Now, if I was live streaming, I might live stream 3 to 4 hours. I don't really do live streams that long normally, but this is a different animal, this game. It wouldn't be like I was farming for 4 or 5 hours. Janesville town. Okay, I know where that's at on the map. So we're getting close to the southern border of Wisconsin, and we'll be heading into Illinois. So Janesville, yeah, it's right on the southern border. Southern Wisconsin Regional, and we are southern Wisconsin, coming to the border. This looks like a little bit heavier populated area. A nice little subdivision right there. Another one over here. Fairly good sized airport. Not really. It's kind of a smaller airport, isn't it? Maybe a lot of people don't fly in and out of here. There's rock. Now, is this, if this is housing, it's really got a lot of trees. Janesville. It looks like a pretty good sized place on the map. It looks like it is. It's scattered out quite a bit. I bet that all is part of Janesville, the town. A lot of houses and stuff out there. A lot of trees, though. Nothing wrong with trees. That's a big place, whatever that is. Big grocery store, big Walmart probably. Mellon Farms and Hacklander. A circular field down there. A couple of them looks like. We haven't seen a lot of those. There's one over here. We haven't seen a lot of those in this area of the country. And I can understand why we'd see it in Washington, because that where we were in Washington, that's all desert. They're getting water from the river, I'm sure, and pumping it in. And that's where the sprinkler systems come in. Huge pumps running those things. There was a Real Farm YouTube channel that I was watching last year, and they no, actually it wasn't either. I take that back. It was one of my subscribers that said they had a neighbor that went out to check the pumps and stuff on one of those big sprinkler systems, and evidently there was a wire loose, and he electrocuted himself and passed. Terrible news. Clinton. Turtle. McCurdy Strip. Lee Creek. Is that Barton? Alright, see if I can figure out where we're at now. Janesville. We should be getting close to the border if we haven't passed it already. Let me take a look at this. There's Janesville. There's Clinton. So there's a little town called, or a spot called Sharon, that's right directly on the border. So if we see that someplace, that's Barton, Pine Hills, Lee Creek, Compass Rose, Turtle, Pine Hill, Cedero. The hell is that? It's called Bigfoot. Bigfoot, get it? There it is, Bigfoot over there. There it is. It's an airfield. Bigfoot. It is right on the border. So we're crossing the border. That means that that Barton, Sharon, there's Sharon, what I was looking for. These are, so the border is going this way. Like right straight shot between Sharon and Bigfoot, because both of those are right on the border. So we are now in Illinois. So we're in Pine Hill, Illinois. Well, it's an airstrip, but there you go. All righty. Bigfoot. So we're actually getting pretty close to our destination. I didn't realize Chicago's right on Lake Michigan. Wow. Let's take a look. What are we doing? Now, I forgot to set any kind of timer of any kind. I didn't see what time I started, but I think we're under 2 hours, and we're getting fairly close. So we should be maybe 2.5 hours on this flight. That's about right. So I'm going to try to stick to that. Anywhere between 250 and 300 miles as far as legs on this trip. There's Harvard, Illinois. Now that's kind of odd. I don't know if that's the Harvard, because I didn't know that Harvard was surrounded by agriculture. If that's the Harvard that we all heard of, I don't know. I'm not that savvy on geography. Geography was the worst class for me in school. I like geometry. I did a lot of math. There's a jet plane above us there. You can see the contrails. I liked English. I liked to read. I liked science, mathematics. I did not like history at the time. I'm a history buff now, but in my youth I wasn't. And I hated geography. I could care less what was happening in another country, much less another state. We all had to have Washington State history in Washington State. But outside of that, I didn't care. Now we live in a different world now, where it's easier to get information and feel like you're part of the world. Back then, if I left the county I lived in, I was a little nervous. Reminded me of that Lord of the Rings movie where the little hobbit when they get to the middle of a field, and he said he looks kind of weird looking, like he's scared. And Frodo says to Sam, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Well, the spot right here I'm standing is the furthest I've ever been from home," or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was a statement like that. He'd never been any further from home than that spot right there in a field. Hilbert's Funny Farm. What? There's an airport up ahead called Lake in the Woods. Is it Woods? Wait a minute. I might have read that wrong. Lake in the Hills. There's Phyllis's field over there. I don't know who Phyllis is, but she's got a field. There's Woodstock, but that's not California. Whenever I think of that, I think of California. Whether that's correct or not doesn't really matter. I don't know if I ever really thought about where Woodstock was. I just kind of, there's a lake in the hills. I just kind of figured it was like California folk. But that's prejudging things. I'm one of the few people, well, maybe not, that was embarrassed by the 60s. Galt. Well, we got a few clouds coming in. I hope that they give us a break. But I am getting better. Until recently, I didn't fly with weather, with actual weather on. Hey, there's a 4-leaf clover down there. A couple of them. Must be a poo-poo plant or something. Water plant. Wastewater, maybe, I don't know. Right next to Crystal Lake. I guess that's the place to put it, huh? I don't know if that's what that is, but it looked like it. I've seen wastewater plants, and that's kind of how they're built. They keep filtering stuff out, and each iteration gets a little bit cleaner water-wise. Oh, Algonquin? Camp Algonquin? Wonder what that is. Is that a place? Must be. Boy, it's a tidy little place, isn't it? Kind of compact. Look at that. Those waterways are kind of cool. Trout Valley. Wow, this is getting kind of strange. What am I at? 4,000 feet? No, I'm at 6,000 feet. Well, it's clearing up. It might come down a little bit as we get closer. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Fox River Grove. Let's go and check the windshield. Oh, we're getting a little frosty. Windshield's fitting a little frosty. It's cold out there. Oh boy. Might be fun. Might not be. Barrington Hills. We're getting very close, by the way. Little place up ahead called Millrose Farm. Now it's funny because Millrose Farm is the place, but it's grayed out. I wonder if it's not in operation like an airfield. There are Millrose Farms. It's grayed out, which is kind of weird. Chicago Barrington, State of Province, Illinois. It doesn't say anything. I don't know why it's grayed out, but it doesn't really say anything on the map. Anyway, yeah, we're getting kind of cloudy as we're getting close to Chicago. There might be some cold air coming off the Lake Michigan. I'm going to come down to 4,000. Before I do that, let me set the barometer. Yeah, oh boy, barometer dropped. Whoops, didn't mean to go that far. Come down easy. Yeah, you can see the tip of Lake Michigan there. Chicago O'Hare International. Are we there? We are here. Okay. Wow. Oh, I guess we're coming down. I'm going to... Oh, wow. Came out of the cloud here. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of cruise control. And we'll fly it in. And I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not coming in anywhere close to being lined up with a runway. So, and you can see I'm icing up. Good timing. So I'm going to come around here because... and try to do what I did yesterday and line up on a glide slope so that I at least am coming in at a certain angle. I didn't know I was this close. All right, we got a glide slope coming up. There's so many of them, my God. I don't know how many strips they've got, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 glide slopes. They're all running into each other. I don't know how in the hell that works. What a place, huh? Good size. Trying to watch my health. My son's had a fever last night and yesterday, and he's all stuffed up today. I'm having a little bit of issue here. Okay, so let's see if we can line up to something here. Way too high. We come down. Try to line up on a strip. I'm taking one of the outside ones, I guess. I don't know what the wind's doing out there. Try to slow down a little bit. Trying to figure out which way the wind's blowing so I can be on that side of the runway or the other side. No, I can't see through the ice. What? All right, I'm going to drop a flap down. Bring speed down a little bit. God, ice is right in the wrong spot. I'm getting knocked around a little bit. Not too bad. There's a lot of detail in this airport that's causing me a little bit of lurching on the GPU. So I've got some stuttering, and I missed the lineup a little bit here because of the stuttering. Because I can't control the throttle, I'm overcorrecting. Oh geez, see, look at that! I took a big dip there. Okay, keep it up, keep it up. Come on down. Oh geez, I keep dropping from the stuttering. Okay, that wasn't good. Part of it was stuttering. Part of it was, maybe a little bit of wind. But it's hard. It's hard to bring it in on a steady when the GPU's stuttering like that, because I'm pushing down or I'm pulling up, one of the two, or I'm trying to go left or trying to go right to keep it lined up, and then the next thing you know, I'm 5 feet below where I was because of the stuttering. So it's kind of hard to control. But we're down safe. I didn't hit too hard or anything like that. It just it wasn't real pretty. But say hey, man, say hey. We're down. Hooray! Hooray for our side. Des Plaines. Des Plaines! Des Plaines! I feel like that little guy on Fantasy Island. So, not bad, not bad. Talking about the weather now, this is quite different from what I saw yesterday. Now, is this a road for me or cars? It seems like these roads ought to be for planes. But I guess these trucks gotta be able to get where they're going. My windshield's finally clear, I think. All right, let's pull her in here and see what we got. That's not a road, is it? It's not a road. We don't need roads where we're going. Look at that. There's why I had trouble. Did you see that windsock over there? It is straight out, and it isn't waving at all. So there is a breeze blowing that made it a little bit difficult for me, and the stuttering didn't improve it. All right, big boys, you got any room for us small people? I don't know where I'm at in conjunction to terminals. Doesn't really matter. It's just me and a co-pilot. We don't need a lot. Just taking a tour. Give me the 5-cent tour. Wow, I'm traveling a little faster than I thought I was. So it doesn't really matter where I'm at. I'm just going to pull in here, I think. I mean, it's not like I have to unload passengers or anything like that. So, I'm just going to run over to this guy. Why are you just standing out here, feller? Close enough for government work. Let's pop her down right here. Set the brake. Go inside. And we're here, Chicago, Illinois. I tell you what I'm going to do since I made pretty good time. I'm going to pop out into the drone, and we'll take a look at Chicago. A little bit of the airport here. So let's go to camera. Showcase. I'm gonna need a controller. Where's my controller? Hang on, I gotta grab a controller. Alrighty, let's close that, and let's take a look. I do have the brake set, I think. Get my microphone around here. Okay, let's take a quick look in the drone. I guess I'm on the right side of the terminal. I mean, it's a big place. There's terminals everywhere. I could have went over that way, I suppose. But we're down. We're in a good spot. We're fine. We're close to the runway we use, so that's important. I wonder if there's an improved version of Chicago. It's not like I'm going to fly into Chicago all the time. Okay, I'm going to head over this way. Is there any way to speed? Whoa! I was looking to see if I could speed the trip up a little. I don't do this often enough to see what the controls do. There's got to be a way to speed it up, but it is windy. Of course, they call it the Windy City. It shouldn't surprise me that we had a little bit of wind coming in, and it did cause my my landing to not be picture perfect. I mean, if you didn't notice, at one time I was coming in slipping. What do they call that? Crab walking, where I was actually kind of going sideways. There's a United terminal. Big airport. Take up a lot of room. I mean, look at over there. That's probably the side I should have went on, but I came off the side that I flew in on. That I was in this runway right here, I believe. That one right there. But look at all the planes over there, all lined up in a row like ducks. Quack, quack. This is a big airport. I mean, look at all the runways. They're going every which way. What's that old saying? Any way the wind blows? Well, I bet it blows over here. Yeah, I could have come over to a real terminal over here, I guess. There's plenty of them open. There's a little plane right there. I could have come over here. All right, next time I fly in, I'll know about that. So Looks like kind of an oldish terminal, doesn't it? Old-fashioned. A little bit. Yeah, I could have come over here. There's a plane not much bigger than mine. This would have been perfect. I know better next time. Place is huge. Chicago O'Hare International. And listen to the wind howl. Whoa. Here's some big terminals out here. This is where the big boys are. Look at all that runway stuff out there. The wind blew and the you-know-what flew. Wow. It's good size. That helipad there? That roundish thing? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. They got terminals all over the place. How do you determine which way to go if you're a civilian coming to pick somebody up? We should go into one of the Texas ones. I flew into a Texas, I think it was Dallas, but I can't remember. It was either Dallas or Houston. And there's a huge freeway in between, where you have to take a tunnel in a transport between the airport. It's weird how it was. And of course, I only saw it from the ground, so I don't know what it really looked like. I just remember being on one side of the airport, having to jump in a shuttle, went down kind of a tunnel thing and came back up on the other side and don't remember much about it at all. And I don't know where my plane's at. Is it over here? Did I get this far down the runway? Maine? What? I gotta find my plane. I don't know what happens if I leave the drone out here. I don't know how to get back to my plane. That might be my plane down there because I didn't turn any lights off. Silly me. I should have prepared. That's us right there. I must not have this set up with my numbers. I'm not ASXGS. I've never set this up. Isn't that strange? Never noticed it before. All right, let's get in here. We'll get out of this camera. All right, let's shut everything down and call it a day. Right, first off, let's turn the lights out. Lights off. And let's come over here. Start flipping switches. We can turn our avionics off. We'll leave that on for now. Let's turn the motor off. Put that in normal. What did it do? Did I do that? Turn that off. Battery off. Standby battery off. And then the easiest way, as I said before, is to come up here and turn the fuel off. That shuts it off. And we come screeching to a halt. Okay, here we are, Chicago O'Hare. And our next jump is going to be, actually, I haven't decided yet. So we'll figure that out and we'll surprise you in the next leg. But I don't think I'm going to go to New York. I've flown over New York with commercial jets several times, and it's north of here. I don't want to go any more north. I was going west to east. So I'll determine that between now and the next leg, see where we're going to go. And we will head that way. But I just haven't looked at a map yet to figure it out. Well, I just looked at a map, and it actually looks like if I went to JFK, it's almost directly east of here. It might be a little bit southeast of here. So I guess I am going to New York. So I'll go to New York, and we'll then from there head down to Florida, and probably follow the eastern border. So, yeah, we'll do that when we come next time. It's going to take me a couple trips to get to New York, I think, at least, if I stick with the 250. It's going to take me at least, let's see, I'm looking at the map. It's going to take at least two legs to get to New York. So, depending on how far I go, if I go to JFK or LaGuardia, or maybe not, I might not. I might actually go to Philadelphia, Middleton, Cumberland. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you had fun. Hope to see you then. Ta-ta for now.